Ukraine has been a hot topic recently as tensions have been made worse as Russia invaded the country in February of this year.
Ukraine.
With tensions rising, people have become increasingly more aware of Ukraine and may seek out information telling them about the implications of the country economically and politically. What people may not realize about Ukraine, however, is that it produces agricultural goods and feeds nearly 1 billion people. For this reason, Ukraine is known as the breadbasket of Europe. Ukraine is among one of the highest producers in Europe of several staples such as grain and sunflower oil, as well as one of the highest exporters of potatoes in the world. In 2019, they exported 50 million tons of grains, making them take the lead globally. The country is bigger when compared to other European countries such as Ireland or the Netherlands, and although the amount of available land for agriculture is very helpful, this is not the reason behind why they produce more agricultural goods than Turkey or Spain, which are nearly the same size. In fact, the only other countries that produce more grains than Ukraine are very large countries like India. When comparing population sizes, Ukraine has a population of nearly 44 million people, while countries that slightly outperform them, such as China, have a population of 1.4 billion. The secret behind Ukraine's agricultural success lies in something people wouldn't suspect: the soil. Ukraine's soil is among the richest in the world, not to mention one of the rarest. All of Ukraine's soil contains a material that makes it stand out among the rest, and that is something called humus. Humus is organic material that consists of decayed plants. Besides Chernozyms or black soils as being the absolute prime soil for agriculture, Ukraine also has two other types of limiting soils that cue us in on a bit of Ukraine's geologic history. One of the soils consists of salinized soils that are infertile due to the proximity to the Dead Sea. The other zone can be found in the northernmost part of the country and consists of sandy podulized soils that make up nearly 1/5 of Ukraine's soils. This soil is completely infertile, but the makeup of this soil is a bit more complex than that of the salinized soils in the south. Podzol is a type of soil that is created in forests, specifically forests with conifers or boreal trees. The decaying material of these trees covers the forest floor, and if they are a top parent material that has high percentages of quartz, then podzol is created. In Ukraine, these soils are common in the post-glacial forests and along the borders of grassy steppe. This soil is not very fertile and requires fruitless upkeep that is hardly worth any of the effort, especially when the country is rich in some of the most fertile soil in the world. Black soil can be found in central Ukraine, where most agriculture can be found in the country. This soil accounts for 2/3 of the country's soil and makes the country yield some of the best quality sugar beets and wheat in the world. Although the fertile soil requires plenty of watering, the soil has incredibly elevated moisture capacity. These soils are the most rich in the humus mentioned before, which is why Ukrainians find so much agricultural success within their country. There are a few issues the country faces as an agricultural nation, one of which is a direct result of cultivating the land steadily over time. The country is experiencing soil degradation and erosion across the land, which has led to gullying. How they choose to combat the issue could change the country's long-term success. However, due to recent events, Ukraine is worrying about much more than soil erosion.
We fight for every inch of our territory. Every village is important. Every city is important.
As Russia continues to wage war on the country, the effects of the conflict can be felt globally, with how prices have increased. Wheat prices in Europe have risen 80% due to the conflict, and the growing demand for a shortening supply leads to other wheat producers in the world to increase their prices as well. For other countries that supply wheat, the process of acquiring fertilizer is complicated, as Russia is one of the biggest suppliers of potash in the world. Although the potash Russia produces may not seem like much, the fertilizer is incredibly vital to crop yields and has doubled in price over the past year. Overall, the war affects not only Ukrainian and Russian citizens who are involved in the decades-long war, but the entire world will feel the effects of this war, as so many people rely on the exports of Ukraine. All sources are listed in the description below, and the transcript is in a link down below as well if you need that to reference. Thank you.